Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account and we're going to be looking at the new Draconic hero that we have. And overall, I looked at a bunch of different places, looked at the Treasure Scramble, looked at the Nightmare Corridor, looked at the Curse Realm, looked at pretty much everything that we have in AFK Arena. And unfortunately, Melion is not being used anywhere as a support hero. Now, one of the big things that a lot of players have stated about him is when it comes to his fourth ability and when it comes to the engraving ability, this only applies to Draconis heroes, which means when you start looking again at the heroes that we're using, Gwen and really looking at Nyla, both of them as the primary heroes we're using, because when you look at Cassius, when you do look at Hildwyn not being used a lot or really in a damage capacity, but when you're looking at Hildwyn, when you're looking at Cassius, and when you're looking at Polina, none of them are really being used anywhere in AFK Arena. So it seems like it might be a hero that is kind of lost as of right now. So we're seeing it almost a weekend. Look through again all of the whale comps, all of the larger player comps, and unfortunately not being seen anywhere. Nowhere, zero, zilch, nowhere are we seeing this hero being used. Now, I did want to hop in the Arena of Trials, but I think I might have a couple summons in here. And looking at the Dragon Isle, this is a place where with the wish list, we do have the ability to add him in. Now, that is a question that a lot of players were kind of wondering. Did we have the ability to add him in? Yes, he is a basic hero. He is not one of the highborn dragons. He is not one that needs to be summoned with the insignias. But getting him out of here, you can throw him in the wish list. Now, with that, I also want to do some regular summons because some players have actually said they have been getting Draconic heroes out of regular scroll summons. Now, D2 actually shared this with me a little bit earlier, and I want to see it for myself. I want to see a Draconic hero. He said he was doing regular summons with common scrolls, and he actually pulled out a copy of Nyla. Now over here, oh, unfortunately, we don't have any scrolls. I didn't know if we had any over here, but I don't know if the possibility, again, you know they're not in the wish list, if there's a possibility, a probability, whatever you want to call it, to actually pull, and look at that, guys. There is an unlock in the very first pull of Gavis. That is really, really cool to see. But I'm wondering if we are able to get them in here, which would be a game changer. Now, of course, we are not seeing any copies of Gorgie in here, which is the food for the Dragon Isles, which again, if we could get some copies of Gorgie out of there, I would be very, very excited because ultimately it's very hard. Now, a lot of players were also questioning the Draconic supplies. You can see as I went through on the YouTube account, we didn't have the ability to get any of the insignias anywhere. So they actually dropped this in, and you can see they're giving us one insignia to come in here and really see this. But this is just giving you the ability to build out all of these highborn dragons. And it's at a very, very steep cost, in my opinion, guys. When you look at the timers, when you look at the pity timers, it seems like overall it is roughly running about, and I know the pity timer regularly was 65 to get these out, which means chances are, and I've used 25, 30, 40 of our insignias in here, and you might not get anything. It might be a zero-sum cost, meaning that you could actually go in here, you could buy 100 of these Draconic emblems or the insignias, and you might not get a hero out of here, which again is kind of bonkers to think about, but that is a little bit crazy. So overall, this pack not really worth it in my opinion, because the price is way, way, way overstated. And that is exactly what players are saying with the Draconic heroes. Even looking at the cost of the diamonds of the 5,000 for the heroes are not seeing an incredible amount of utility. So even if you're not looking to build them out or not looking to get them, and again, this is where a lot of players have kind of just skipped it when it comes to the Draconic heroes, because the sheer cost of them and the return that we're seeing is not really there. Again, when you start looking at the Curse Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, bunch of different avenues within AFK Arena, it seems like the hero itself might be a pretty big flop, one that you don't want to build. But when you start looking through here, you'll see that majority of these are the regular heroes, are just the basic heroes that we have. Even getting into the Draconic heroes, there we have Nyla. So that is one. And then, of course, looking in here, just again, regular heroes. There is Polina, which again can probably be easily replaced. But in here, we really do have Nyla as a damage dealer or a sub-damage dealer in there. And then the exact same in the Nightmare Corridor. We know Gwen is a mega, mega big burst. So looking in there right there, 10 billion for Gwen. But when, again, you start scrolling kind of everything through here, you'll see the Draconic heroes are not really making a presence anywhere, which again is a little bit disappointing. But overall, it is what it is, guys. It really is what it is. Now, of course, defensive mechanism, when we look at Hildwyn, he's being used in the treasure scramble and then kind of in niche formation in the hellscape sometimes, but not really being used too many places. Now, of course, when it comes to the draconic heroes, especially support heroes, they are very hard to test because, of course, we have crowd control in here, and then the only hero that we're really seeing a big buff in here is the draconic heroes. And again, with that being said, even looking at that 4 skill, as we go through the trials, any other hero, it's not going to make a lot of sense for this hero. And I want to take this, let's go to 460. But it's not really going to make a big difference in here with any other hero to really be able to pull the damage that we're seeing. So if you're not running these draconic heroes in here, again, it doesn't seem like the hero is going to do any damage. And I really think when you look at the heroes, when you look at Nyla, when you look at kind of what we've seen in a bunch of different aspects, the hero itself is not really putting out any damage at all. I mean, even Lavatoon, 33 million. So the damage isn't there, but the only thing it really serves is looking here. We have 1 draconic hero in here. And I'm wondering how this is going to look and where we could boost up Hildwyn, essentially Hildwyn's ability or Hildwyn's damage overall. But we know Hildwyn's damage is still relatively low. So looking here, 62. So it did buff it a little bit, which again, looking not much damage there. And I'm wondering if we have a comp in here. And I don't think we have one for Gwen, but I'm going to drop this out. I'm going to drop in Gwen and see what we can do with this hero. And again, the crowd control that is offered in here, I think PvP-wise is going to work. Gwen, of course, right in the back. And I don't even think Gwen got to really do any damage in there. Look at that, 100 million damage. Didn't do much, didn't even see the ultimate ability out of there. But again, when we're looking at the boost that we're picking up from this hero, it is really going to be the only niche place that we're going to see it played. Because even when you start looking, and I'm wondering, let's drop out, and let's put in Polina. Let's see, because of course, in this case, Polina is going to be buffed, which means, of course, well, insta kill right there. I'm going to have to level this up a little bit and see where the damage is really at with this hero. Let's go to 560. Now we're looking at a 200 level deficiency, and let's hop in some of these. So here is the battle with Hildwyn. I'm just kind of wondering if the battle can last a little bit longer. Of course, Hildwyn's going to get a little bit more buffs out of there. There's the ult. Now has a pretty strong buff because, of course, we have the 60 engraving in here with Melion. So 231. So definitely pulling some bigger damage out of there with the buffs that he is providing. And I'm also wondering that here with Gwen, how exactly it's going to look and how much is this buff really making a big difference. There's the ult, which of course the dragon damage, 100 goes to 500 million. And I'm wondering, so we're at 504 right here. Again, let's hop out and see kind of where the buff, and I'm almost wondering, like, swap out the buffer that's going to buff her out. Oh, that's right, we can't swap it out. I was almost wondering, like, if we take a draconic hero out of here, what is the damage going to look like? Are we still going to be able to pull 500 million just with Gwen? Which Antandra, of course, died out super fast right there. Which, talk about a glass cannon. So 520, so a little bit more. But again, looking at some of the Antandra glass cannon was very, very prevalent right there. You've seen the hero actually run out and just die right off the bat. Because again, the 4th ability does nothing for anybody if there's no draconic hero. Even there, we just got crushed in this one. 116. The hero, again, it seems like it's going to be a little bit more of a flop, short of possibly buffing in a niche formation. But I'm surprised that even at the whales, the whale side of it, they're not even using the hero either. So we're going to have to see exactly what becomes of this hero. But again, with the sheer cost, not really advising building the hero. If you do get the hero through natural summons, which again, a lot of players were kind of wondering when was the next time we were going to get a draconic hero, but it seems like it came sooner rather than later, and the hero overall seems like a pretty good pass. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.